Hello everyone and welcome to the Smashi Business Show. Today is Wednesday, February 25, 2026 and I'm Abdul Majid Awan and we have some very interesting headlines for you today. UpScrolled has hit 5 million users amid growth, controversy and a brief Google Play ban. We'll talk about Issam Hijazi, the founder, the Palestinian, Jordanian, Australian founder of the app, which has now hit 5 million users. Abu Dhabi-based Etihad Airways has reported a record annual profit in 2025. Big news for them. And former WWE boss Vince McMahon is not trying a buyback with Saudi backing. It's a fact check that we did yesterday on our timeline, but I'll tell you all the details on the show today. But before we go on to the first story, let's look at the markets and let's check in on them. Starting in the Gulf, it was a mixed picture yesterday on February 24, 2026. Egypt's EGX 30 climbed up to 50,663, up 0.41%. It was up 2.26% on Monday. Very big growth. Dubai's DFMGI held steady at 6699 points, up a modest 0.1%. Abu Dhabi's ADX barely moved at 10,640 points, up just a fraction. It was 0.007 to be exact, but Saudi Arabia's Tadawul was the outlier, pulling back to 10,879 points, down nearly a full percentage point. Over in the United States, a rebound story was happening yesterday after Monday's brutal 800-point Dow sell-off fueled by tariff fears and AI disruption anxiety. Wall Street made a comeback. The Dow recovered 370 points. The S&P 500 climbed 0.77% to 6891 points. And the Nasdaq added over 1%. On commodities, we should talk about them because they are the kings. They were the kings last year, but this year they started a little here and there. But now gold continues its historic run, sitting at $5,184 an ounce, up 0.51%. Silver also had a strong session. These are the latest updated prices if you're listening right now live, and if you're listening anytime in the day today, these were the morning prices. Silver has jumped 3.13% to $90.25. Some news from the Asian markets, which are open right now as we speak on Wednesday. They opened firmly in the green. Japan's Nikkei 225 has surged 2.32%, obviously because of the S&P and Dow and Nasdaq jumping. Asian markets also followed suit. The Japan's Nikkei is nearly at 58,651 points right now, and with Hong Kong's Hang Seng up 0.45%, also in the green at 26,709. The story here of the markets is they are cautiously optimistic as the NVIDIA earnings, which are going live tomorrow, Thursday, post-markets, come, and they will be a health check of the AI and tech sector. But moving on to the first story of the day, it's very interesting. UpScrolled has reached 5 million users. The platform announced this week, yesterday actually, a milestone that would have seemed unlikely when it launched in June 2025. It hasn't been even a year. And when they launched in June 2025, they had a modest 40,000 downloads. Basically, it's founded by a Palestinian, Jordanian, Australian technologist, Issam Hijazi, a former IBM and Oracle engineer. The app was built to challenge what Hijazi describes as the fundamental failure of big tech: algorithmic manipulation, shadow banning, and the most important part, selling user data. He quote unquote said, big tech over the last couple of years has proven they're not really in it for ethics. They prioritize profit over people, they sell user data, they design platforms to keep you addicted. That's what Hijazi said, according to Al Jazeera, at Web Summit Qatar. Actually, I was there, so I heard him live also. He was at the last minute announced as a speaker for a fireside chat on the opening night on Sunday, February 1. And it was an appearance where the sold-out conference saw him say so many things. If you're interested, you can go to the Web Summit page on YouTube or any social media. Find his whole speech. It's a very nice idea into what actually happens. There's a clip of it that I have for you to listen to.
To what you're doing, make your case against big tech. What are they doing wrong? What is it that you feel like you need to fix?
Where do I start? That's the question. I'm gonna state the obvious, but I think big tech throughout the last couple of years have proven that they're not really and for being ethical in general. They have enabled genocide on people. I'm going to say that out clearly. The technology that they provided for certain regimes have enabled killing of people within very small area. And I think we all know where that is. Gaza, for example. So these companies really after profit. They're not really about ethics. That's number one. Number two, from consumer perspective, these companies don't really care about the well-being of their users or the people that use their products. They don't care about selling your data to someone else if that means profit for them. That's one. And they don't care about your mental health, as in they will design something just to keep you addicted to use that platform as long as it's profitable for them. So to sum it all, they're not really creating something for humanity. They're creating something to generate more revenue / profit for them without prioritizing what's good for people out there. So I think these are the fundamental issues with big tech in general.
So on the first part of that, when you say that tech has enabled
So, growth has remained slow for UpScrolled until late January 2026, continuing the story of UpScrolled when TikTok's US operations were finalized under the new ownership consortium. Downloads surged nearly 3,000% in 48 hours, crashing UpScrolled servers and briefly pushing it to number one on both the Apple Store and Google Play across the UK, US, Canada, and Australia. But the platform's rapid rise has not been without turbulence. On February 14, 2026, this year, nearly 10 days ago, Google suspended the app from the Play Store without public explanation, with UpScrolled confirming it was working closely with the Google Play team to resolve the issue. UpScrolled, the company, acknowledged struggling to moderate content amid the user surge. There was a video of Isam saying that. I will play it after I tell you the remaining story. The app was reinstated on February 15 within a day. Hijazi says he's expanding the moderation team and building new infrastructure. With 5 million users now on board, the pressure to deliver on that promise is only growing. Here's him explaining why there will not be any racial or any wrong content allowed on the platform. Listen to it. It's very interesting.
Hey guys, Isam here from UpScrolled. Thank you to everyone who has joined the app. I'm so glad you are here. Now I'm going to address something directly. We are seeing harmful content uploaded to UpScrolled. Things that have no place on this app. Content that explicitly violates the terms of our platform. This content goes against everything we stand for. So I want to be clear. UpScrolled exists because you deserve a platform that does not exploit you. You deserve a feed built for you, not for billionaire interests. Free of surveillance and free of political censorship. That's the app we created and we are working hard to maintain. No form of racism belongs here. This includes white supremacy, anti-Arab racism, anti-Semitism, and all other forms of racism. There is no room for content that exploits children or content that is homophobic or transphobic. And I can't believe I have to say this, but bots do not belong here either. If that's what you're posting, this isn't the right platform for you. We are offering everyone the freedom to express and share their opinions in a healthy and respectful digital environment. So what are we actually doing to create that environment? We are rapidly expanding our content moderation team, and we are upgrading our technology infrastructure so we can catch and remove harmful content more effectively. Our global team is operating 24/7 to keep the platform safe, and their current top priority is removing and preventing violations. Right now, nearly every resource we have is going into making this app exactly what we promised, a space to share freely with your privacy in mind. That's my promise, and I'm so grateful for every single one of you for being on this journey with us. Thank you.
That's what he said. No bad content, wrong content allowed on the platform. But let's move on to our next story of the day. It's another record profit for Etihad Airways as they announced their annual numbers, underscoring a powerful rebound in global travel and an aggressive expansion strategy for the decade ahead. The Abu Dhabi-based airline posted profit after tax of about $710 million. Let that sink in. And let me repeat it again, $710 million, up 47% year on year. It's fourth straight year in the black. Total revenue climbed 21% to roughly $8.4 billion, driven by a surge in passenger demand. Passenger revenue alone rose 24% to around $7 billion, while cargo brought in about $1.2 billion, and that was also up 8%. Etihad carried nearly 22.4 million travelers in the past year in 2025, with planes flying at an average load factor above 88%. Meanwhile, Zayed International Airport handled a record 32.5 million passengers in 2025, highlighting Abu Dhabi's growing role as a global aviation hub. Looking ahead, Etihad plans to invest $21.8 billion by 2035, like in the next 10 years, in new aircrafts, premium cabins, and upgraded customer experience, including luxury amenities, enhanced dining, and chauffeur services as well. Despite geopolitical tensions in the region, the airline says most of its ticket sales come from outside the Middle East, and it has contingency plans to shift capacity if needed. Executives also say the focus remains on disciplined organic growth, not acquisitions, as Etihad positions itself for long-term global expansion. The CEO, Antonaldo Neves, was recently in India being interviewed by the latest interview that I could find of him was from January this year, and he is explaining how the market for aviation and then with focus on Etihad is growing. It's a very interesting listen.
We actually got to 22.5 million passengers per year. We came from 10 million passengers about 3 years ago. So as of now, we are already at 25 million passengers per year. If you annualize what we're doing today.
This year.
Right now,
I mean.
January, we're doing 2.1 to 2.2 per month.
Okay.
Right, so we have now 125 planes. We announced more than 30 destinations last year. And we're making money. We cannot anticipate the results, but I can let you know that we're going to be one of the most profitable airlines in the world, probably top 10%. Margins are healthy. And we're going to grow again this year 20% overall, right? And we are also happy about the results in India. We didn't grow this year in India. In 25, we did not grow in India because the traffic rights are all used. So on the Abu Dhabi side, we don't have more traffic rights to deploy, right? So we're doing about 3.7 million passengers per year, both ways.
From India into India.
Yeah, overall, right?
Yeah.
From and to. But it's actually 1.9 into India. There's a misconception that we are here to take passengers from other airlines, but in reality, what we do is bring people to India.
Very interesting numbers presented by him. He says Egypt has been a very slow market for them. It's not a profitable market. It's a very break-even market. But that's what Etihad is doing. They're flying more people to Egypt than from Egypt. So very interesting insights from the CEO himself. Meanwhile, there's another report which has come out. It's a very interesting story 3 of the day for us. A new report claims that former WWE chairman Vince McMahon is quietly exploring a deal to buy back the wrestling giant from TKO, this time with Saudi Arabian money behind him. Every takeover bid that you see in the world right now is being linked to Gulf money and mainly Saudi Arabian money. But according to the report, McMahon has allegedly begun talks with Saudi backers to engage TKO Group Holdings, the parent company of WWE, about a potential buyback in which McMahon would serve as a silent partner. Very unlike of Mr. McMahon, but the claim was made first by former WWE broadcaster Jonathan Coachman on his podcast recently on the weekend on Sunday. But tonight, that story has not been independently verified. We did our own research. No major financial or sports business outlet has confirmed the talks. WWE E and TKO Group Holdings have not responded to requests for comment, and the report relies entirely on a single unnamed source presented by the coach in his podcast. It's also worth noting that McMahon resigned from WWE in January of 2024 amid a federal trafficking investigation. Any formal return to the company would face significant legal hurdles, so it's not on the table. Here's the clip of the coach himself saying, revealing basically that his source told him that inside the TKO group, there's a conversation happening about a WWE buyback. Listen to it.
Silent Way has now started talking with the Saudis to start engaging with TKO about buying the WWE back, and he would be somewhat of a silent partner. I saw it on the dirt sheets, and I was like, do you really believe it? But then my source reached out to me today, Vince, and he confirmed that that is actively going around at the company and around TKO, that those talks are starting right now.
Very interesting stories from the day, from the Smashi Business. If you want any news, anything that's happening around the world, if you missed anything, just send it to us on business@smashi.tv or inbox us anywhere. We always look at all our social media platforms, and we love when you engage with comments, likes, and the different arguments. But before ending, from the global grid, here's what's moved the world of business tech and AI and startups. Let's start in Washington. US President Donald Trump delivered what became the longest ever State of the Union speech in history last night, and tariffs were front and center. Here's the backstory. The Supreme Court struck down Trump's sweeping tariff powers last Friday, a major legal blow to his campaign. Hours later, Trump responded by signing a new 10% global tariff under a different legal authority. He then threatened to push it to 15%. And that 10% kicked in at midnight Tuesday, hitting roughly $1.2 trillion worth of imports. At the State of the Union, Trump stood in front of justices who ruled against him and called the decision, quote unquote, very unfortunate. He also made a bold claim that tariffs will eventually replace the income tax entirely. Economists, meanwhile, are not buying his argument as usual. Meanwhile, in the tech world, AMD surged nearly 9% after Meta announced a major multi-year chip deal, chipping away quite literally at NVIDIA's dominance in AI hardware. The timing is very weird because NVIDIA's earnings are on Thursday. I've been repeating this for like last 3 days. They are going to be the health check for the AI and tech ecosystem. Tech companies, the big ones, the big giants, are nearly 33% of the market in the US right now. So this deal will affect NVIDIA's earnings and future predictions and their stock price. So it's very important to look out for them. Another interesting thing that's happening in the world is Stripe is reportedly weighing an acquisition of PayPal. PayPal, if you don't know, is considered one of the giants, one of the starts where all the big names that you hear today come from. Elon Musk was a part of it, if you just want to understand the magnanimity of PayPal. But Stripe is reportedly weighing an acquisition. And this was reported by Bloomberg itself, and that sent PayPal's stock up 13% in 2 days. Meanwhile, on the AI front, I just took his name and he appeared in the next line. Elon Musk XAI just secured Pentagon access for its Grok model, including classified networks. So now XAI will be able to access all that data which is classified. And Samsung is targeting 800 million Gemini-equipped devices by this year's end, 2026. And Google AI basically in your pocket at massive scale inside a Samsung device. And finally, some more news on Elon Musk. Mexico is threatening legal action against Elon Musk over controversial comments as his global footprint and his controversies continue to grow. I want to read all these stories. You can go to all the big giants that do reporting, but Smashi Business, we're focused very much on the Arab world, on the MENA region, and on the Gulf and the GCC countries. We report all the business, tech, AI, and startup stories we can find in a day. We keep you updated on all our social media, so do subscribe to any place you want to be. We're on WhatsApp even. We have a very nice group So if you're on WhatsApp and you don't want anything else, just subscribe to our channel on WhatsApp. That's a wrap for today. Thank you for tuning into the Smash Business Show. Make sure to follow us across all social media channels, as I said, and stay ahead with our daily newsletter. You'll find the subscription link in the description. If you're listening, if you're watching, it's there. There's been a Smashy Business Show, a Smashy Business production, part of the Augustus Media Podcast Network. Big shout out to our more than 2 million monthly listeners. As always, you make this possible. If you're one of them, we really, really, really appreciate you. I'm Abdul Majid Awan, and have a very nice day. We will see you tomorrow on Thursday.